As a beginner coming into web design, there are principles that guide design, and there are best practices you must follow in order to create a website that attracts visitors and also convert these visitors into buyers. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 web design practices or web design principles you must follow to design a good website. If you're coming across my channel for the very first time, I am Faith. I'm a digital marketer and a web designer. I help business owners build professional websites with WordPress, WooCommerce, and Shopify. And on this channel, I teach complete beginners e-commerce, web design, and digital marketing. If these are things you love, hit the subscribe button and let's get right into it. First on my list is called contrast. So for you to build a website that actually converts, there should be contrast. There should be the difference between your website's background and the elements on it. When you place a text on your background, it should be able to be visible. People should read it clearly without straining their eyes. So number 2 is called spacing. For you to build a website that attracts, there should be spacing on your website. Things should not be cluttered. The elements on your website should not be cluttered in a way that it strains people's eyes. It gives them headache to read. These are things you must apply, and you must use what we call padding and margin to design your website to give it an appropriate spacing. So number 3 on my list is called alignment. If you look at a website, you see that there are elements on the website are strategically placed. Some elements on your website are placed above, some are placed by the left hand side, some are placed in the middle, some are placed at the right hand side. That is alignment. For you to build a website that converts, you must apply the appropriate alignment. Do you want to align your elements to the left hand side? Do you want it to be in the middle? Do you want it to be at the left hand side? Do you want it to be at the top, bottom, or middle? These are things you should consider when you're talking about alignment. And I will also log into my system to show you how these things are applied in practice. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process, and I will show you a web page and how these things are applied. The number 4 on my list is called overlap. When you visit a website, you see that there are some elements that overlap each other. Text might be overlapping on an image, or image overlapping on a text or a section. These things are done to give room for readability, for easy accessibility on the website. You must apply the right overlapping for your website to convert. Number 5 on my list is called color. So color is a very versatile thing. Everybody knows about color. You want to apply the right color, and there is something we call color psychology in design. Every industry has a color that pertains to them, and those colors, they have meanings. It's to capture an attention of people who are visiting your website. So these are things you have to put into consideration as you're building your website. You want to build something that people will find easy to navigate and easy to understand. The last one, which is the 6th one, is called hierarchy. So hierarchy is just what guides the user on your website on what is more important for them to look at. If you want to show them what is strategically placed, you can use size, you can use color, you can use font weight to actually signify that for them to see it immediately they land. Have you seen where you land on a landing page, you see that some text are bigger, bold, or they used italics to mark that place, or they used bright color like red to indicate? Your eyes go directly to those things. That is to guide you that this is more important. To look at it, to read it. That is what those things are telling you. That is hierarchy. So when you apply these things, you will be able to build a website that actually converts. I'm going to log into my system now to show you all these things in practice. Right, so the number 1 web design principle on my list is contrast. And like I said earlier, contrast is just the difference between a layer and an element on it. So this is the hero section of this particular website. As you can see, the background of this hero section is light, right? And the text on it is dark. That is contrast, the difference between the background and the text or any element on it. Or the button, there is a clear difference. You can clearly see the text, you can clearly see this. But how about we have something like this? So how about if I have a section like this, I give it a black color. Let me quickly give it a black color. I give this a black color, and I actually drag a text widget, a heading widget, and this is dark. Or can you read what is here? You cannot see it. So that is contrast in action. So for you to build a website that actually converts, you must set that particular contrast. Make sure the text are readable on all your sections, right? The buttons are visible. There is nothing hidden. So the principle behind contrast is that if you're using a light background, use a darker shade to place your text. Then if you're using a light text, place it on a dark background. So dark background should have a light text and a light text should have a dark background, vice versa. So number 2 on my list is alignment. Can you see that all the elements here on this hero section, they are aligned to the center? How about if we have something like this? If we have something like this, this is left alignment, this is right alignment. Can you see that all these things are aligned to the, this one is aligned to the right? So how about if I have something like this? Let's say I have something like this and this text is aligned to the left. Let me do something like this and I align this. Can you see? Does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. This is a wrong alignment. And when something like this pops up, it simply means that the designer did a bad job. Everything must be aligned accordingly. If you're using a center alignment, every other thing here should be center aligned. Your text should be center aligned. But if you're using a left alignment, this one should be aligned to the left. This one should be what? Aligned to the left. Everything should be left aligned. This one too should be what? Left. And then the content in this particular container should be what? Left aligned. Can you see? If you start anything with left as alignment, make sure that every other thing that comes below it are left aligned. If you start with center alignment, make sure everything goes the same way. So the number 3 is spacing. If you look at this hero section, you can see a lot of space here. There is a space here, there is a space here, there is a space between this text, there is a space between this text and this button. Inside the button there is a space. Can you see a whole lot of space? If you scroll down, you can see space here, you can see space here, you can see space everywhere. There is space, and all the text here, they have breathing spaces. Can you see? Everywhere there is space here. This section and this section has a space here. This particular one, there is a space. Everywhere there is a space. So if you're building your own website, make sure you're using a space. If you look at my own design, there is space here, there is space here. Make sure that your design has a breathing space. So look at what I did here. Let me change this text to white so that you can understand how these things are done in written. Can you see that this text does not have a breathing space? So what can I do? I can click on this section, go to advanced and add a space. I can add 50. Can you see that there is a space inside here? The space outside is called margin space. The space inside is called what? Padding space. So I have done a video on this channel talking about the difference between padding and margin. Please consider watching that video before you watch this so that you understand how these things are done. That is spacing for you. So the number 4 on my list is overlapping. All right, so if you look at the way this is, although there is okay, look at a perfect overlap here. This particular thing here is overlapping on this image here. So you can overlap elements or a video overlapping or a text. Let's say I want to create something like this. I want this particular image to overlap here. I can just click on this. When I click on this, I can use spacing to create an overlap. I can drag this to the left. Can you see? Give it a negative margin. So I'm giving it a negative margin. So I want this particular image to overlap on this text. Can you see? So but this is a bad overlap because it is covering a text, so it's not going to be readable. So you can actually create a perfect overlap. Let's say I want this particular section to overlap up. I can click on this section, come to advanced, give it a negative top value, right? So I want to do this. I can give this 100. Can you see that it has gone up? I can make this look better. I'm going to remove it. That is overlap for you, right? So the number 5 on my list is color. If you look at here, you know that color is well applied here. The person that built this website did a good job. As you can see, the background here, the light background here has a dark text on it. That's perfect, right? When you're using a dark shade as a text, the background should be light. I've said it before, and you can also make sure that you're using the appropriate section colors. As you can see, sections are best given light shades. Let's say if I want to design this particular hero section now, so what I will do is I just come to here, column. So I want to do exactly what is there. I give this 50. Let me give it 50. So I want to style the background. So what I will do is I will choose a gradient. On the first gradient, we have the color here is a light blue. I want to choose this light blue. I think something like this is something like this there. So the second one is pink. Let's actually choose the pink, which is a lighter pink. This is a lighter pink. Then the arrangement is done this way. So let's set the position. So this is how it is. Then the first one, the location is just like this. So this is what we have there. This is what we have there. Can you see? So this is exactly what we have here right now. So if I want to copy this, I can do like this. Copy this, come here, drag a heading widget into here, and then I paste this. Can you see? So this is what has been done here. Right? This particular one, they gave color here, so I can actually do that myself. I can do that, but I'm not going to do all of that right now. So this is how it looks like. I can give this a mean height, a viewport height, so minimum height, drag it, go down. So this is what has been built there. Then you do what? Justify this to the center. So this is basically what has been built here. It is as simple as that. Then the color here, I think the gradient color here, this one did not go that far, so something like this. So this is what we have there. Can you see? This is what we'll have there, right? So that is color. You use a dark color on a light background, right? That is color for you, and you also understand that color has meaning. And then hierarchy is the last one on my list. You need to observe hierarchy. Can you see that this text is bigger than this paragraph? So if I copy this and go to my own website, so let's see what we will do there. Let's put something like this. All right, can you see that mine is smaller? So can you see? And I put this in the middle. Can you see that it's smaller? That is to show you that the owner of this website or the builder of this website wants your eye to go to the most important thing, which is the headline. After that, he wants your eye to go to the call to action button. That is why they gave the button a different color, right? So that your eyes from afar, your eyes can picture that, and they want your eye to see this. That's why they gave it a different color. So if you look at it now, the first thing your eyes go to is even this online marketplace before you even read it. So color like that actually enter your eye. So that is why if you want to set a hierarchy, you can use size. You can use size by making everything bold and bigger. You can use color, set a brighter color here. So if I come to my website here and let's say I copy, if I copy this button is not brighter enough. I can give it a brighter color. So let me quickly go to my button color. Let me go to my button color. I want to give it a sharper color. Let's say I want to give this FFEF00. So can you see that this color is standing out, right? From anywhere you are, you can easily see that. Can you also give it a pink color or a pink color like this, a color that looks sharper? So let me go here and also do that here. So this is it. So it's looking sharp. Now if you look at it from afar, you can easily read this and read this. So that is what has happened here. Hierarchy is just for you to guide the users on what is most important on your landing page or your website. You want them to see first. You can use a bold color. You can increase the size of that element. You can also use a bright color to differentiate it. These are things you can do. So if you love this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you have any question, please don't forget to type it in the comment section, and I will be there to answer you and clear you on that. Don't forget to click in the description below to watch all my videos on Elementor for beginners, WordPress for beginners, the best hosting you can ever get, and see you in my next video.